Excited. It's a little crazy out here, not gonna lie, but we are gonna work through it. Hi everybody. This is oh, okay. I am going to jump on. It's a little loud for a moment out here. Goes away. It's not as smoky as it's been. Hi.
Hi. Can
How
you
are
see
you?
her?
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, you look amazing.
So do you. I have no idea what I'm doing. This is my first Instagram.
Oh, I'm so happy it's with me. I'm like loving the hair. I'm like, huh. I put on a little
Oh,
lipstick for you.
thank you. Thank
Like, let's
you.
let's look a little put together. How are you? Oh, I am
Well,
so
I'm still
happy you are
working.
joining me. Ah,
Thank you for having me this morning. Can you see everything's okay?
I can see, yeah, it's
Okay,
great. This is for your first time. You've got it all together.
good.
Oh, I was just listening to your music this morning as I was getting ready, and I was really excited. I'm sad to know that before a few months ago, I hadn't heard your music, but now it is on regular rotation in the
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, my music is, or you have to definitely be a blues fan, blues or a
yes,
soul fan.
yes.
Uh, yeah, and
I
work
grew
in
up
that
on soul.
circle.
So
Pardon me?
I said I grew up on soul music. So
Yeah.
I love it. I write country now, but my roots
Ah,
are
I
soul.
love country. I love country music.
Yeah. Yeah. I love some country music. My family's from the South originally, even though I'm a California girl. So I'm like, I claim the Southern music, but I realize
Same here. My people are from Louisiana, so
mine too.
we got
I'm
those
from
roots.
Louisiana
Yeah.
and then the Ozarks. So we got depends what side, the white side or the black side. So,
Yeah,
but
because
they're
there
both
are
in
some,
the South.
unfortunately.
Yeah. I'm like, but they all moved to California. They all left it. So
Oh, really?
yeah. Yeah. So how are you? How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. We are in the midst of this poor um, air quality, so here, and so are you. You're in
Yes.
California. It's worse for you. I can
Yeah.
only imagine. But it's pretty bad here, and I have asthma, so I'm in that high risk factor. And
Mm-hmm.
and I noticed it yesterday for the first time because I've been staying indoors since
Yes.
the smoke came because it got pretty thick. And so I actually went outside yesterday for the first time because I live stream our church services
Oh, okay.
at my church. And so I went out and yeah, you can definitely feel it. You can definitely feel it in the air.
I know today it's pretty bad. I mean, there's a little breeze, so I was like, I can come out here for like a good 30 minutes, and then I'll go back in and neti
You
pot it
should have
out.
a mask on.
I know, like I'm in like a little corridor in the backyard, and there's like a fan blowing. I'm like,
Oh, okay,
I'm kind
good,
of
good.
makeshift situation, but I'm like,
Yeah, it is different because to have my house shut up is something I don't do. I'm over 60. I have hot flashes all the time. So, so my windows stay open, and it's been really difficult having my windows closed. I mean, everything
hmm
is closed in my apartment, so it's like, oh my gosh, I don't like this.
no, I
But
definitely like breezes and going on like long walks and just being
yeah,
out
but
with nature.
I mean, in the great scheme of things, there are people who have lost so much more, and so for me to complain about having to be shut up in my home, at least I have a home.
That's
You
true.
know,
That's true. It's
I
amazing.
have to look at it that way. And, my prayers go out to all those firefighters and first responders, and especially those who have lost homes. I have some friends who actually have lost home, and a couple of people have passed away
Mhm.
as of yesterday, found out. So,
Ugh,
yeah, we're keeping all those folks in prayer.
keeping very much so, and I'm very thankful because I am, even though I'm in California, I'm in a safe area, so the air is bad, but I'm not in danger of the fire.
Right,
So I'm
right,
not in
right.
like the fire line, but I do have friends that are in the fire line, and they're waiting to see if they're going to have to pack on up a little bit. So
Oh,
I'm
wow.
I'm
Yeah.
sure. I'm like, come on down.
Yeah,
Don't
I
breathe
told
that
a
air.
couple of my friends from
Bring a
Portland, I
mask.
told
Come on
them,
over.
yeah, I told them, come on up to Seattle. I mean, the air quality is not that great, but it's better than down in Portland because, you know, California and Portland are really bad. So I said, come on up. You stay with me. We'll make a pallet on the floor. We'll make room for everybody.
Yeah,
Do like we used to do in the old days.
that is. See, you're like me. Just bring togetherness. As long as people are
Oh, yeah.
safe, I'm for it. Well, I wanted to have you on Jacques Talk, and I've wanted to have you on a while because as somebody in the country music community, I saw all the stuff going on with Lady Antebellum, and I looked at you and you carried yourself with such grace and such poise. And I'm a very big proponent for Black Lives Matter. I'm a very big proponent for equity and equality, which is why I started this conversation so that people could know that don't necessarily know in the South. It isn't a conversation that we have openly all the time about equity, equality, and privilege. And I I admired how you held you and you are holding your stance just for how I put it, like just to realize the quality and that you have like your name and your career matter,
Right,
even if it doesn't have the same
right.
sales or the same, like you still matter and you still have value.
Exactly. I think that, well, first of all, thank you for the compliment.
Yeah.
I'm doing my best, believe me. It's not, you know, everybody thinks it's easy. It's not.
No.
So it's definitely taken a change in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I feel blessed for the new fans. So thank all you new fans. I
Yeah.
really appreciate you. But I have fans who've been with me for years that
Yeah.
I love and appreciate that have followed me. And it's the principle of the thing
Mm-hmm.
with this Antebellum story. We had an opportunity to make something that really could have been, could have shown the world how country music and how blues and soul R&B come together. We
Yeah.
really could have. But when privilege thinks that it can just do whatever it wants to just because it's been doing it, those days are over. And I think that people need to realize that there is a change coming.
Mm-hmm.
And as I said, this is not just about me. I've
No.
had so many people reach out to me. You know, you get a certain amount of negativity and you expect that and
Yeah.
haters and that kind of thing in this business. I had them with the few fans that I had. Those fans are still important to me. But for the most part, I have had such outpouring of love
Mm-hmm.
and feel blessed by it. So this is not just for me. This is about the fact that Black lives do matter.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
didn't bring race into this. And
No,
so for those
you
folks
did
who
it.
are saying that I brought race into it, that's a privilege thing. You get to think that because your privilege allows you to think that. Lady Antebellum, and I always go back to their quote, which is, as a band, we have strived for our music to be a refuge, inclusive of all. We've watched and listened more than ever these last few weeks, and our hearts have been stirred with conviction, our eyes open wide to injustices and inequality and biases Black women and men have always faced and continue to face every day. Now, blind spots we didn't even know existed have been revealed. That's
Yep.
what they said.
Yeah.
I didn't say that. So if you think, I work in race and social justice on my day job,
Yeah.
and I've been working a day job as long as I've been performing.
Mm-hmm.
So I was pulling double duty. I've worked hard to get where I am. I've worked hard for my brand. Lady A
Yes.
is a brand. This is my
Yes.
brand. This is my life. And so to think that dangling a carrot in front of me about doing a song together was
Mm-hmm.
going to make me think, oh, wow, all of a sudden I'm going to have this newfound fame. It didn't, because the principle of it was that once you put a CD out as Lady A, and I've already got 5 CDs out as Lady A,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to wipe me off just because you have more fans than I do.
Yeah.
But your fans are no more important than mine.
Yeah. You're going to go down in
And
the algorithm.
Right. I mean, and I slowly would disappear, which is what has been happening. The only thing keeping me in circulation right now is people like you, Stephanie,
Mhm.
people who continually want to tell the story.
Yes.
This is the story. This is I mean, people keep saying it's David and Goliath. I don't feel that way. I feel that I'm standing up
Hmm.
for everybody who has not been able to stand up for themselves. And I've always been that way. Our names, our culture, our languages, um, in some cases, our children have
Yeah.
been taken from us.
Yeah. It's,
So since colonization,
yeah.
you take everything from us. So I'm not going to allow that. If you take it, you're going to pay for it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only right. But if you don't feel that way, it's okay. If Lady Antebellum doesn't feel that way, it's okay. It really is. But then you need to come back and say that Black lives don't matter. Because I
you
didn't
can't
say
have both.
it. You said it. Yes, you can't have both. You can't be an ally. You can't be a halfway woke ally.
Hmm.
You need to be a true ally. And allyship requires that you either give up something, you may have to give up something,
Yeah.
or you need to put action behind your words. Changing your name from Lady Antebellum to Lady A, we still know what the A stands for.
Yeah. Yeah. I was always shocked, and this is from somebody who listened to their music. I'm currently in a strange place because I'm so upset based on my value system about how this has been handled. And obviously I don't know
Right,
all the details, but I can say it just seemed like such a good teachable moment of like
right,
the pillars of white privilege and how
right,
you try to do something and it gets uncomfortable and then you
right,
stop. And I'm like, going against, like, fighting racism and going against your privilege is going to be uncomfortable. Like,
correct.
you're going against your being. So as soon as it got
Right,
uncomfortable and it got a little messy, it felt like they were like, oh, no,
right.
do
We're
it.
just
And
gonna
I'm like, you picked the
we're
name.
just gonna do what we do and take what we want.
Yeah. And
That's not allyship.
that's not allyship, that's not co-conspiratorship, and that's not bridging the divide between two communities.
Right.
I
You
don't
have to
mind that
be
they felt uncomfortable because I expected them to feel uncomfortable. I expect, if you're white and in country music and you're doing this, like, and your name's Antebellum, you should feel uncomfortable.
you're going to be uncomfortable. I mean, think about it. The Dixie Chicks,
Yeah.
they were very uncomfortable when their controversy came out about what they said about President Bush.
Hmm.
I mean, that was an uncomfortable moment, but I was like, yes,
They stood by it.
finally. Yeah, they stood by it. I was very proud of them. Like I
Hmm.
said, I like country music. There are certain, I like the old country, but
Yeah, me
I
too.
still like country music. Yeah, I'm an old country girl. I love Blake Shelton. Holla, Blake. Uh, but the thing about it is that, as I said, I work in race and social justice, and it is uncomfortable for white people
Yes.
when they give up their privilege, when they have to stand behind their words.
Yeah.
Chris Stapleton just made a statement about Black Lives Matter. I was like,
I was
yes,
so proud.
that's what I'm talking about. I'm so proud. But of course, that is going to cause some of his fans to talk against him.
Yes. And it already
You
has, I
know,
think.
yeah, it has. I mean, people send me things. I don't even read the negative comments anymore.
Okay.
One, because I get upset and I want to reply. And I've learned over the years, even before this Lady Antebellum stuff, I mean, I've always been very political and
Mhm.
very, an activist. So I'm going to speak my mind, and I'm going to speak up for those who are disenfranchised, for immigrants, for homelessness. That is my thing. I started what is called the Truth is Loud panel, and I wrote a song called The Truth is Loud.
Yes.
It talks about homelessness, immigration laws. It talks about all the murders, because these are not killings; these are murders
Yes.
that are police are murdering Black people, Indigenous people, and people of color.
Yeah, they are.
It needs to stop. And for those that think that it's just going to stop overnight, or that a pandemic or that poor air quality is going to stop people from protesting, as someone who protested for years, it is not.
No.
People, I want things to get better. There's a way to bring people together. And those are the opportunities that white people are going to have to take. You're going to have to step up. You're going to have to be uncomfortable because yes, you're going to get a backlash, but you're going to get a backlash from those very people that you say you want to get away from.
That is the point. Like, the people that are mad are the people that are okay with the status quo. They're
Exactly.
okay with keeping us down. I was bringing up, like, in a conversation the other day, the NBA and how they protested and people were mad, and then the football game, how people booed when they had them silent for, like, equality. And I'm like, you guys cannot keep profiting off of us and then
Right.
and booing. Like, I don't, like, we're not your toy. We're not your entertainment. We are entertaining you, but we are not here for your entertainment.
Right.
You know, like, that's, and I always
and
say,
it takes people.
You're killing us.
Right. It takes people that are actually in a place to use. You know, we all have a little bit of privilege in what we do. You know, I know that I have privilege when I go do a show.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm somewhere, if I'm in another country or if I'm in another state, I have a certain amount of privilege when I go to do the show. It's what I do with that privilege that separates me from everybody else. Am I going to, just because there's a fan, you know, I don't like to call people fans, call them my music family. So my music family, I've been calling that. I don't like the word fans, but you know, I know people know what I'm talking about. So if somebody in the music family that loves music walks up to me and I can do something for, whether it's taking a picture, signing an autograph, or it's getting them backstage, if I can do that, I'm going to do that. My kids in the Rhapsody Music Project here in Seattle, whatever I can do for them, I'm doing for them.
Yeah.
Because it takes a village. It really does. And we seem to have forgotten that. And what we can do for other people. I'm a Christian. I believe in God, and I believe that I've been placed in this position for a reason. Because anybody else would have either given up or would have been rolled over. Yes. God put me in this position. Rolling Stone magazine did not have to reach out to me, but they did. Yeah. Thank you, Ethan Millman. I love you. You know, they didn't have to reach out to me, but they did. And I didn't know what to do. And yes, I was afraid. But once I figured out that I need to go forward with this, I need to not be afraid. I need to stand up, not just for myself and my brand, because this is my brand and this is my business, but I need to stand up for those who aren't able to stand up for themselves, for those who have been going through this. I've had so many people say, you know, the same thing happened to me. Somebody took my name from me. Somebody took my music from me. I don't think that it's right. The number of fans that you have or music family that you have should not, just because you have more than I do, does not mean that you get to ride roughshod over me.
I agree. And I also, when I was reading this story and when I was digging down deeper, I was like, if you're really wanting to do better, whatever artist it is, and if you're switching your name, like the Dixie Chicks switch to the Chicks and things, like, if you do that and then you see somebody has your name, even if you technically or whatever might have the right to that name, don't you want to do better and think what is morally okay? What is the moral situation? Like, what, and people that, and especially people that call themselves strong Christians and this, like, what is the right thing to do? The right thing to do might always, there's a difference. There is a difference. You might legally be able to do something, but is that necessarily the right thing to do? At one point, slavery was legal, but it wasn't the right thing to do. You know what I mean? So, like, there's a difference. And I'm like, could we just all discuss what is right? And what
do
is right?
The right thing.
Okay, I have this big fan base. So I have the ability to rebrand myself into any name because I have the fan base and the growth and the team and the label and all this to push that. So whatever I go for, it's going to be fine.
Exactly.
And wouldn't you go, oh, if I'm trying to do something with, and if I'm going to bring race into it, maybe let's not do something against somebody that happens to be Black. Like, maybe that doesn't look good in public perception. Like,
well, and this is the thing. White people are going to make mistakes in being allies, especially if you have not been an ally. If you have not been an ally, a true ally, If you have not
Exactly.
been a true ally to Black, Indigenous people of this land or people of color, you're going to make mistakes.
Yeah, you are.
So, and it's okay as long as you correct those mistakes.
Yeah.
I'm I'm interviewing people for race and social justice team for a new team that we're putting together
Hmm.
at my job. And one of the questions I asked is, so how many Black people do you actually work around? And what do you do to engage?
Hmm.
Um, what does that look like to you?
Hmm.
And it's okay to say, well, I don't work around any Black people, because some white people never work around Black
Yeah.
people or Indigenous people or people of color. It's not, there's nothing wrong with that. But now that you see and you don't know how to deal with that, now you need to correct it.
Yes.
Racism is a learned behavior. It's a
Hmm.
behavior. It's not, people don't come out racist.
No.
You're not born racist. You're not. It's a learned behavior.
Hmm.
It's like a child.
It is.
When you see your child acting out, you need to correct your child.
Yeah.
So, racism in this country has been allowed to just prevail and do, what it likes, and privilege allows you to do what you like.
Hmm.
That is no longer the case.
No.
And it doesn't, for me, I don't lose either way,
Yeah.
because I'm good. I'm going to stand up. Like I said, it's not just about me. I need to be able to tell the kids that I mentor, the people that I sing for, the people who've come and seen me for, almost 30 years, that have come to see me. I owe them an explanation as to why I didn't fight if I didn't fight for my name. But I'm
Exactly.
going to fight, and I'm going to win.
Yeah. I
I
I
believe that.
applaud you for standing in your values and in your
Yeah,
moment, because it is right now. I think that is what's so important, is to know what you stand for and to stand for it despite opposition, despite
right,
the fact that some people are going to be uncomfortable, but more people are going to be respectful of when you hold your
right.
own.
I
And
have country music fans sending me messages.
yeah,
I have Trump fans sending me messages, which is really cool. And people identify themselves, and they'll say I'm a country fan, or I'm a Trump supporter, and I'm like, wow, really?
yeah,
But and you don't have to do that. I'm so I feel so blessed to have those people send me these emails. And believe me, I keep everything.
yeah.
I don't throw anything away. I keep everything. I keep every email. If I have not responded to you,
Mhm.
um, which I think I've pretty much responded to everybody, I try to respond to every
Yeah.
single person. I just have always been that way. I respond to people, even if it's late. It might be a month later, but I'm going to respond to you. I really appreciate them, because we see that it's like you said, we can all do better.
We
I'm
can.
not perfect. I'm not perfect in what I do on a daily basis, but every day I wake up, I'm trying to do better. And
And
hopefully I can help somebody else.
I think that is the key. And I think conversations like this are the key, which is why I started this Jacques Talk, because I was like, I felt suffocated, and like people always said, somebody said at the beginning of quarantine, when when they realized that Blacks were being affected by COVID more, they're like, well,
Yeah,
why are we shut down if it's just affecting them? And they said it to me, and I'm like, I'm Black, right? And they're like, but you're not that kind of Black. And I was like, oh, you're too comfortable. You're too comfortable speaking to me that way. I'm like, I need to set you straight, not to tell you that you're wrong, but realize I am a Black woman. I'm light skinned,
right.
I'm biracial, but I'm still going to be pulled over by the cops. I'm still going to,
Exactly.
if I get COVID, it's going to affect me differently. My dad is still dark skinned, and he is still
Right.
a Black man walking in this world. Like, understand that I realize I am light skinned, so I have some privilege, and I'm more
Right.
digestible to some. And you guys like my hair and all these things, but
Yeah.
I'm still Black. And people were treating me like I was white and talking bad about Black people to me. And I was like, no, I'm not okay with that level of comfortability. And I was like, I could either allow you to talk like that and then go back to my friends and complain, or I can tell you
Right.
right up, this is what I believe in, and this
I
is who
think,
I am.
yeah, I think conversation is important.
Hmm.
which is why I started the Truth is Loud panel.
Oh,
So that, and it's really for white people because it's for teaching white people how to be allies
that's
in
amazing.
2020 and beyond. You can go to the truthisloud.info for
Oh,
information. There's all kind of self-care
oh, that's great.
um, for white people, for Black people. There's information there. We've had two of them. I believe I'm going to have another one in November.
Mhm.
I'm working on a CD and some other stuff, so I had to kind of take a break from it for a minute. But I still realize that the conversation is important.
Yes.
When we start talking to one another, we find out things about one another.
Hmm.
But it's not just the talking; it's the listening. So my pastor, my pastor said yesterday, which really cracked me up. He said, "We have two ears and one mouth for a reason, so that you can listen,
Yeah.
doubly listen, listen more than you talk."
Yes.
So, and I believe that we need to listen to each other, and white people need to listen to BIPOC folks because
Yes.
we've been saying the same thing over and over and over again. So it's time not only for you to listen, but for you to be educated, and you need to go out and educate yourself.
Hmm.
White people need to educate themselves on what it is to be an ally.
Yes.
You know,
I always say this isn't new to us. Like everybody's like,
no,
"Whoa, this is happening." I'm like, "It's been happening." Now you're in quarantine or whatever, so you're slowed down, so you're seeing it. But the stuff that's been happening, the disparities, all the stuff has been happening for hundreds of years. So,
yeah,
and
but
there's also
there's a
plenty of
change.
books and you can Google and find out a lot of
You
information.
can Google a lot of stuff.
You can Google a lot of stuff. So it's time to not be, once you know better, I always say
You better.
I'm not for willful ignorance, but if you just don't know, I'm willing to tell you and to help you. But once you know, you do better. Once you know that this
Right.
is going on, now I expect you to stand for us. I expect you to do more than put a square, like a black square on your Instagram. I expect
Right.
you to do more in your personal life.
Yeah.
And so,
And there are tons of people. There are tons of people out there doing better and
yes.
for the cause. And I think we really do. You know, my audience is very diverse, so I
Hmm.
don't have just a Black audience. I have a diverse audience no matter where I go. But I have a different type of blues show, so I
Hmm.
educate as well as just get on stage and sing.
I'm going to have to
I'm
go to
the,
one of your
you know,
shows.
Oh, please do. I have what's called a back porch show
Okay.
that I do for about 50 people in Seattle once a month,
Oh,
before COVID,
yeah.
where you come and you learn about the lyrics and the meaning behind the actual songs.
Hmm.
So if you listen to my songs, and you say you've been listening, so if you listen to my
Yes,
songs, you
I
will
have.
notice that there are some fun things in there, but there are also some songs that are about what is happening today
Hmm.
or things that are happening to other people. I do that for a reason. I'm hoping that my music will encourage and inspire somebody,
Hmm.
um, that lifts somebody's spirits. I listen to all types of music, so from classical to country, and everything in between. Um, but I do that for a reason. I do that because there's some meaning behind that. There's
Yeah.
meaning behind the way that people write and the reasons why they write. And like I said, communication is important. Nobody gets mad at a backyard barbecue with some music, girl.
Nobody,
Nobody's.
no.
That's why, I'm looking forward to retiring from my day job and doing nothing but singing. Nobody's mad when you're singing,
Yes.
you know. But there's still an opportunity for Lady Antebellum to come to the table and actually change their name, not
Yes.
shorten their name, not use their nickname,
Just
to
change it.
actually change their name and to bring us all together. I mean, I'm still willing to work with them and, try to change the climate of
Hmm.
what's happening in the music and even with them to show them how to be allies. But you have to be willing to first admit that you're wrong, second, admit that a mistake was made, and then to correct that mistake. And I think that happens for all of us. That's everyday
Yeah.
life, you know.
I
So, you know,
I hope that they do. I hope that they do because I think in doing that and admitting that they were wrong and then coming up with an actual solution that really ties them away from antebellum, which is
right.
just a horrible time period. Um, Like,
Yeah.
it's just horrible. But I think that would also show many other country fans and country people, because of their platform, that they can stand publicly and
Right.
walk in it. And
Right.
I pray that they do. I pray that they can, that we all can get that level of uncomfortability and still move in that. Because even for Chris Stapleton,
Right.
that had to be uncomfortable, and to know that you're going to get some backlash, and to feel that backlash. Nobody wants negative stuff at them.
They even,
And
how could
people were mad at Dolly Parton for saying
I know,
Black
I was
Lives
just
Matter.
getting ready to say that.
How are you
How
mad
could,
at Dolly Parton?
how could anybody be mad at Dolly Parton?
Like
I love Dolly Parton.
I'm like, how are you mad at Dolly Parton? Dolly Parton, what did she do to you? She did nothing.
But,
She gave you a theme park. Like,
yeah, she gave you a theme park. She changed the name, and she actually said that Black Lives Matter. I just, when I saw that quote from her, I just laughed so hard. And even her sister, her sister Stella Parton,
yes.
just amazing people. Margot Price.
Yes.
These are people who are stepping up and actually calling other country artists, and saying, basically they're saying, we need to start stepping up.
Yes.
And it's true, because that's the only, Sam Cooke said it how many years ago? A change is going to come. A change is coming. And so you might as well be on the right side of the change, because we can all do so much better. And then when we all do better, we can help those who are less fortunate, because I want to get back to, this kind of has taken a little bit of my life over, but I want to get back to, but I'm correcting that. But I want to get back to the homeless situation, that I'm into. I want to get back to helping my kids online, to work through this, because kids are back in school now. There are parents that are like tearing their hair out, trying to figure out how this is going to work. There are ways that we can help each other. There's so many ways to help one another, but we have to leave some of this other baggage behind us and be true about leaving that baggage there. Yeah, mistakes will be made along the way, but you know what? That's all beside the point. We can correct that and do better by each other, because there's so many more people out there that we can help.
It's gonna always look performative until it's not performative. Like, as long as you're not looking at why, if you know your intention, that's
exactly.
And I think that what this pandemic and what the civil rights movement is doing is it's teaching us empathy. And I think there's a few generations that have lack of empathy, but we have the ability to create the children to be empathetic and to learn that we all are one, and we look different, but God made us to look different. If God wanted us to all look the same, he would have made us all look the same. He would have done that. If he wanted all the trees to look the same, he would have just made one kind of tree. I always go,
right.
Like,
I love the cultural differences.
But that doesn't mean we are different. We still all have blood running through our veins and the same hearts. And the more we can just see that and be like, I just don't want to see a fellow human suffering. I don't want to see a human starving. I don't care what you look like. I want to make sure you can eat. Like, let's look at that. Like, just because you're poor or you're this does not mean you are worth less to me. And I think the more we can all realize that we are at the same value, but America has made us put different values on people based on class or ethnicity, or but really we are the same. Really,
we are.
Did it matter? That is a construction of what this country and humans did, but that's not what we were supposed to do. So we can even change that. Yeah, you know what? I want to make sure everybody can eat. I don't believe in food deserts. And just talking about it. So I appreciate that you are willing to go back to the table and to be at the table with that, because I think that even shows your character, that you're willing. You're willing to do the work.
We have to put the work in. Yeah, we have to put the work in.
Yeah.
And
it's not going to be instant. It's going to.
No. Our cultural differences make us who we are. And it's a beautiful thing, because all these different cultures, all these different meshes of music and dance and artistry and all of that even language
Yes.
and books, all of that brings us together if we just take a minute to talk about it,
Hmm.
to have a conversation about it. We don't always have to agree, but we do have to respect one another. We should be doing the right things
Yeah.
so that our children and our children's children see us doing the right things. Um, I really, I have to be a forgiving person.
Yeah.
God forgave me, so I have to be a forgiving person. Do I have to allow you to humiliate me and embarrass me? No, you don't get that. You don't get to do that.
Hmm.
You don't get to take from me anymore. You don't get to take things. What I offer and what I'm willing to give up is a different thing.
Yeah.
But I think now with this certain situation, there is always room to improve, and there's always a way to come back. But I can hold my hand out, but I can't make you take it.
Exactly. I always say the door's open. You just have to choose to walk through it. And I'm
Exactly.
still there. I'm not closing the door, but it's there.
Right.
Just when you
But I'm not
choose.
going anywhere.
Yeah. Oh, well, I appreciate you taking your morning and having a conversation with me in these crazy times. I know I
Yeah,
keep
it's a
saying
little
I'm not going to
crazy.
Nashville, but it's just all crazy. It's crazy everywhere.
We're gonna
Um,
get through it though.
yeah,
We are.
we are, and I have hope. I am very hopeful, and seeing my friend Mickey perform on the ACMs, a Black woman in country, I was like, yes, girl,
Yes.
you better tell it. You better say. You better let them know that, that we support you.
I was excited about that.
She is
So
going to be phenomenal. And
yeah.
I will link your site and stuff into this chat so that people can check you out and just experience your music and your energy, because I think it is a
Thank
blessing, and
you.
I'm thankful all this happened just so I could be aware of you, and I'm thankful for that.
I appreciate that. And I'm having a ladies' luncheon.
Oh,
I would love for you to come if you can, and any of the ladies that are watching
yeah.
this podcast. I have a ladies' luncheon every year, and it benefits the Rhapsody Music Project for my kids to send them to camp every year. And even though they didn't get to go this year, I'm always raising money for them.
Yeah.
So, and usually it's usually in Seattle, and I have 300 to 400 women every year.
Hmm.
But this year, since we're all, COVID bound, I'm having it on via Zoom.
Oh, yeah.
So if anybody wants to be a part of it, please send me an email to Lady A White, which is LADI White at gmail.com. Let me know. It's a $20 donation. That's all I'm asking for. But if you don't have a donation, please don't let that deter you from coming. I would love for you to come, be a part of it. It's September 26th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. or 1:30. We may go over a little bit. It's usually an all-day thing, but this is just a 2.5 hour Zoom call. I've got Shakura Saeda from Canada is a presenter. Queen Carter, my play daughter here in Seattle, she's an inspirational coach. She's going to talk for 10 minutes. We have Precious Coleman out of Texas, who's going to do some music therapy for us, which is really good. I've done it. Relaxation to some great music. You will love it. And then we have Ann Harris out of Chicago, who's a fiddler and violinist. If you have not heard her, Ann Harris is remarkable. And then I always have a surprise guest,
Oh, I'm
which I'm
excited.
not going to tell you who the surprise guest is. You will have to be a part of the ladies' luncheon on the 26th of September.
Well, expect that email and donation from me, because I will be there. I that
Please do.
that
You
makes me,
believe me, you
like,
will
it just
love it.
makes me smile even hearing about it. I was like, ooh. I was like, Texas and
Yes.
Chicago? What?
Yes, yes. And usually I have a lot of swag bags and all that kind of stuff. And for the ladies who already signed up, I've already mailed out their swag bags.
Mhm.
So please, if you want to get a swag bag from me, and it really won't be a bag this time because I can't afford to mail all that stuff,
Yeah.
but but you get little gifts from me. I like to make, I think women should be treated like queens,
Yes.
not just on their birthday, not on their anniversary, but we do a lot.
Yes. And we
We
hold a
do
lot.
a lot. We do a lot and we hold a lot, right? So I believe in holding my sisters up and encouraging them. So I hope they will. I hope you and some of your audience will join us.
I hope so too. I'll put that in as well. So, oh, this just, you just made my day. I just
Oh,
love seeing
thank
people
you.
do things that bring goodness. I always say energy matches energy. And if we can all
Exactly.
shift our energy, we will raise the vibration. And
Right.
that's the whole goal right now. Everybody wants to keep it down, but we're going to raise it up.
That's right. You got to keep being positive. You got to wake up every day, even though, you're in COVID, even though smoke and fires are going on. We need to pray for those folks that have lost and are losing,
Hmm.
something right now for those firefighters, those first responders, those hospital workers, people who show up in the grocery stores every day just so that you can go to the store.
Yep.
That's a privilege.
Yeah.
The gas attendant that is pumping gas. I say thank you to, when I'm at the grocery store, I say thank you to these folks all the
Yeah.
time. You never know what somebody is going through, and just a simple thank you and even smiling with your eyes behind that mask
Yeah.
makes a difference in somebody's life. So let's spread some positivity.
Spread some love.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I will save this on my platform, and then I'll create it in an audio form for if people don't want to look at our beautiful faces, but I say look at them. Look at them.
Oh, thank you.
And
Thanks so
thank
much.
you again. I hopefully we can do this again sometime.
Please do. Send me a
Yeah.
message.
Ah, all right. Bye
All
everybody.
right. Bye bye, Stephanie. Be
Bye.
blessed.